Greetings, one and all, to this week's episode of Tenno Clock. I am Xeno, and I just turned to look at Loz, and yeah, he's got hands now. And we're joined with a special guest of Pyrah. So, hi. To Pyrah and I, we're content partners. Loz is trying to work out how his hands work. Loz is there.
Ow! The pain! The pain!
Anyway,
there we go.
Anyway, right.
Head motion works, that's fine.
Yeah,
it's the model, not the software, by the way. I've already proved to these two. Yeah. But still, I can sort of flail arms a bit now.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there, people.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, hello.
Cool. So moving on to the first thing that we always do with this show, as we fumble around like morons, we go on to emblems. God damn it. Gotta stop focusing on... There we go. Emblems. So, Pyrah, as the special guest, please observe the two emblems that are in Discord and let us know which one you feel is the winning emblem for whatever criteria you want to give.
I love them both, but I gotta go with the tiger.
Okay. Fine. I know how it is.
Tiger wins. Woo!
I know how it is.
See if I get some hands.
Gentleman
Let's go. We
Clem.
go. Woo!
Gentleman Clem just, hated, right? That's fine. Cool. So that's emblems. We do have some news. We're able to start the Plat
Are we
giveaway.
in Dojo Dusting now?
No, we're still part of the emblems.
Okay.
So we're able to do the Plat giveaway again. So you'll find them in the description below. However, I can no longer give out 150 platinum per 2-week stint. It is now 75 platinum per 2-week stint. But we are... Stop it. Stop it. That's way too distracting. But we're limited to like when we're able to give out the platinum and things. So coincidentally, this coincides with the next window of the stuff. So yeah, you know, so you got 2 weeks, and then the names are immediately sent on to DE. Loz will make sure that I get the emblem giveaway up and running when this comes out. Isn't that right, Loz?
I'm thumbs upping you.
Sure.
That's what you got.
Sure, yes. I thought that was a bottle opener, but okay, cool. Right, and now we're going to move on to Dojo Dusting. I don't know what Dojo Dusting there is to say. Is there any? Can you think of any, Loz? He has hands now.
Hands now?
Yeah, he has hands now. So, right, okay, so nothing for Dojo Dusting, really. So let's move straight on to the topics. Right, so our topics this week, and I'm just going to preemptively apologize because I had to pick the topics this week, so they might be absolute garbage. I really hope they're not. So, right, so our first topic is, as he takes a screenshot by accident, leave. Status immunity on enemies is not cool. And then topic 2 is, should the Helminth also be allowed to switch Warframe passives? Right, so let's talk about topic 1. Status immunity on enemies is not cool. DE have claimed they want to avoid making mandatory builds to promote build diversity. The Cambion Drift introduces enemies that have complete status effect immunity or are immune to specific status effects like viral. This does explain a lot for me. This forces the player base to run crit-heavy builds and ignore status effects entirely. If DE wants to promote build diversity, then they need to nerf viral plus heat rather than preventing everything. Because of this, I've swapped to a crit plus corrosive build, and the damage gap is obvious. I went from melting everything to punching a brick wall. This doesn't stop me from being able to complete missions, but it forces me to play a specific way. Loz, just so you're aware, I did paraphrase a lot of this to make it easier to consume.
Yes, I'm just looking at the original version of it now, so give me a sec. Yes. You can start if you want.
Okay, well, first off, Pyrah, do you have any comments you want to say straight off the bat of this? Or
I've never been one to really focus on builds anyways, like hence like art.
Yep.
But like, yeah.
No,
I don't know. Honestly, like, yeah, I can't really say anything because I'm more art based than math based. So,
well, so a question for you. So you are obviously much like myself, and quite possibly like Loz as well, where we fall into a pattern, a routine of, yeah, this is what I've taken with me. It does the job. Like I don't have to worry about what it's doing. It's just it does the job. It's good. We're good.
yeah.
So my question to you, my first question is, have you struggled at all doing anything in the Cambion Drift?
Not really, because I haven't really actually done many of the bounties. I've like I just showed, like I've been working on these paintings recently, so like all I've been focusing really when I'm actually in the game is just doing, like, I'm not even turning on bounties. I'm just going through the drift and just doing conservation targets, mining and fishing just so I can rank up
Yeah.
before actually doing anything else. And also my wrist has been killing me, so it's just like I really can't do much in a day anymore. So
that's fair enough. What do you normally take to like missions?
Actual missions,
Yeah.
well, it just depends on the mission involved. Like if it's like, I just take a warframe that's needed.
Right.
If so, like, I don't favor anything unless I'm doing like the Drac and Trank and mining and all that stuff. I just take Ivara, and then I'm just going invisible the entire time, getting my standing up, and then yeah.
Okay, cool.
But otherwise, it's just taking the frame that's needed.
Yeah, for me, it's very much like just take Oberon. Yeah, it's just like, oh, Xeno, we could do with Limbo. You mean Oberon? No. We need you to put like one of those cataclysm bubbles up. Yeah, what you really mean is hallowed ground. So it's fine. I got your back. I can bring the Oberon. It's like no, we need Limbo. No, Oberon. I know what you mean. I got your back. But
Yep.
I think Loz does change it up, don't you?
I do try. That's partly going to be my point to this person. Is so looking at what they're saying they're doing Steel Path and they focus on an Arcana build with condition overload, getting loads of status procs, and then that just eventually they hit an enemy which is immune, and then it just stops taking any damage. So, but the thing is, you don't just have one weapon in this game; you have 4 minimum these days. Ignoring if you summon a giant mech from the sky. Stupid giant mechs, flailing arms. Nah, sorry, it's just too fun. So they're using an Arcana Prime. So what are their rifle and pistol doing? If you have your status build on your melee, then put a crit build on your gun. I mean, you don't have to go, oh well, status works most of the time, so I'll status on all 4 weapons. You could just have status on 2 of them, and then, oh no, here's an immune enemy, so I whip out a crit axe stiletto or something like that, and there we go, off you go. You can just crit that mob down and then back to the status stuff,
I do feel that this person has a point though, because if you're stop it if
this is too much fun.
Yeah, I do feel that this person has a point though, because if you've made a build that for one situation is reliant on status effects and things like this, then having to, for me personally, when I don't swap stuff out, having one weapon which is crit heavy that is only really useful on the Cambion Drift, again, isn't great. But at the same time, like, I also respect that this person has a really good point with, instead of preventing all forms of status effects, just do what's needed. Bring a balance pass to viral plus heat, because I run viral heat. I know loads of content creators that have put out videos of like viral heat, and because it is OP as hell. So I do agree with them that this shouldn't be prevented, and I do agree with you that there's something different. Therefore, you need to change up how you play things. Like, we've had this stance with nullifiers. If we've got a nullifier in front of us, do we choose to just pepper its shields with a bajillion little bullets, or do we... What are you doing?
Unscrewing a bottle lid.
Okay.
Like, do you actually have the bottle with you, or?
Yeah, let's try and hold it up.
Okay.
Can't see it.
Okay.
My hand's
Yeah.
not wiping that.
I thought you were just like doing some walking animation with your fingers or something. But God, it's so distracting. Anyway, so
If only it worked right, yeah?
Yeah,
that'd
only
be
if it
cool.
worked. Even if your shoulders weren't imploding. But the point stop it. The point I'm making is I feel that yes, you should say, you got to change your tactics and things, but at the same time, just it does seriously feel like we're preventing all status effects because of the viral plus heat problem.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So to instead of addressing the problem, we'll just ignore the whole problem completely by going, there is no problem because status. We won't deal with these status things being too powerful because we'll just remove status. Why trim part of the plant that's growing on the wall when I could just hack the plant at the bottom of the soil?
The roots.
That made sense. Yes, go for the roots. Yeah. However, though, they don't. I'm looking at the initial thing. They don't say where they are in Steel Path, which is a bit annoying.
No, this is the Cambion Drift.
Mm.
The Cambion Drift introduces enemies that are completely immune to status effects.
Which ones?
Yeah, which ones? Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I think it is like the new ones, because the one that fires out parts of its spine.
Yeah.
I know that's
the smiley guy in the distance, smiley trees.
Yes, it is a lot tougher to kill. Also, I feel the balloon, the hot air balloon, is quite chunky in terms of health. I mean, we even had a Patreon question. Was it last week, Loz, asking about the fact that infested now have armor as opposed
Oh yes, yeah.
So it is interesting how things are changing, but if there are more and more infested that are becoming sort of like immune to all status effects and things, like, I mean, I'm not making the problem is I don't know exactly which ones there are, but I can feel a difference in, that thing's dead, that thing won't die.
Yeah. You'll instantly start attacking them and feel there's a massive disparity in how you were dealing with mobs, and then these mobs turn up and oh no, the pain, just like my poor arms. But like I say, it's not like you're not given the tools to deal with it. No?
I agree with you, but I think yeah, I mean, it is fair, the whole, should we tend to the small problem, or should we just hack off an arm? That's I think the big problem here. At least for me. I'm fine for changing things, but
I found out which ones it was.
Yes.
It's the Carnus, Genitrix, Jugulus, and Saxum. Those ones are immune to viral.
Are those the new ones?
Yep.
So all the new ones. Yeah. Out of interest, being immune to viral, does that mean that you're immune to the... No, wait. Viral's the combination, isn't it? Yes, no. Sorry, I was going to say something really stupid then.
It's fine. That's what 10 o'clock is all about.
Cool. I don't know if there's much more to say on this. I personally think it does need addressing. I think DE needs to look at rebalancing the status effects rather than just ignoring them entirely.
I don't know. I feel like these mobs have a place. Maybe it's too widespread, and this is more should be saved for mini bosses, like the boss of the vaults or something. I like the concept of it's a good reason to force you to have multiple builds on your different weapons and actually swap between them often.
Mhm.
That I feel that's a good aspect there, and it I would hate to lose that just because somebody wants to sit there and just kill absolutely everything with their Nakana Prime.
Mhm.
I've almost got these hands. I have to kind of.
And
So
man,
what?
the wiki needs to change that image.
Which image is that?
The Genetrix. Just
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So shall we move on to the responses, the replies?
Yes, we shall move on to these responses. You would laugh at how I have to twist my arms to make that work. Right, okay, so I still don't know why they bothered with status rework if they keep on making status immune enemies. It's a knee-jerk response to a problem, the solution which should be status effect adjustment.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm in agreement with this, because didn't they go away, rework the status effects only to make viral the best?
Yeah, they did, yeah. And obviously before it was just pure slash. And just slash, yeah. But now viral's just the best. I don't get that. They made that better. They're like, but they must have seen the effect it was going to. I don't know. The next one. Status is not supposed to be good or useful. Crit always works. Just go crit. The thing that gets me is, right, what is actually happening when our weapons crit in Warframe? Like when your gun crits, what is happening?
Well, to be fair, the crit should be on the enemy, not on with the gun.
Well, no, but yeah, but the bullet, or however you want to say it, something is crit. Okay, here we go. Finger quotes. Critting. That's finger quotes there. Critting.
I guess my interpretation of what a crit is when it hits the target, it's hit a vital portion of the target's body, and that's where it hit a critical point, and that's where you get all the damage done onto the enemy unit. Not what happens with the gun itself per se. It's just that one shot, bullet, whatever, just hit a very vital part, and just like there's a chunk of damage gone. But yeah,
but we already have, like, you can shoot them in the head, which is
yeah,
because that's where critting. I think my understanding is that's where like critting these sort of RPGs came from. Is that in Dungeons and Dragons they needed to account for if you managed to hit the enemy in the head with your sword when you're just rolling some dice, and then they've carried it over to games like this. But you can already aim at someone's head. So it's like, not only are you aiming at a weak spot, but that one random bullet, even though you're shooting the same spot in their head, just managed to find. Was it a super bullet, or did it just manage to take a slightly 2-degree turn to the right, and that made it do thousands more damage? It just seems weird to have both weak spots on the models, and also that the shot or the hit can find an extra weak point within the weak point, which you can also find in non-weak point areas.
I think the problem here is, like, as you say, it's very reminiscent to a system like Dungeons and Dragons, or basically systems where they don't have aim mechanics, like, World of Warcraft. You don't aim like, I'm gonna go for the jugular. It's a critical chance based on the statistics of your character. Like, what's the chance of your character making a successful critical strike? In games like Dungeons and Dragons, I think your crit chance is based on your dexterity. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, and the weapons. There's a lot of things, right? There's a lot of different combinations. But I feel that, for the lack of better way of saying this, that laziness in terms of, just roll a dice, has been brought forward to a lot of games. right? So, in this day and age, it's crit chance, crit damage has made such a presence in nearly everything. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if you get some football games like FIFA and they have like critical chance to score. I'm like, how does that work? It's
their foot just went into crit mode.
Yeah, like their foot, they had just enough dexterity to angle their foot in such a way that the ball goes faster somehow.
No. Their body randomly decides to just send amazing chemicals to different parts of their bodies randomly when they touch balls. So when they kick it, sometimes their body goes super leg mode, and then it speeds up the leg into like super mode for like a fraction of a second, and that's when it crits. I'm a scientist.
I wish you did air quotes then.
Here we go. Scientist. I'm a scientist. You can trust me. Almost works. So close. Yeah. Should we get to the next comment?
Yep.
I will just drop my opinion that for years now, we have been receiving way too many tool, so it's hard for DE to make stuff for us to do by not cheesing it by us or by them. Status is a bit too strong now, but that's not a good reason just to make enemies immune to it. See, that's why I feel it's like, if it's enemies and you're countering them a lot, that's a problem, and that it's like, oh, that's just annoying. But if it's like mid bosses or rare event bosses it becomes something special. So maybe it's that it's just too prevalent, this immunity.
Well, I mean, it is the majority of a planet.
Last one. I think they need to first condense the status effects we have. I thought that was the direction they'd go after testing it out in Railjack, but they seem to have forgotten about their little experiment. They got rid of the combos entirely, so had to shift the status procs around. I don't 100% agree with those status effect choices, but it still felt more balanced.
So the point of this, I don't know if you remember, with Railjack, they had the physical types and then the elemental types. They didn't have any combos.
Oh, got you.
So yeah, maybe that's something we should look at. Maybe
it's definitely more straightforward.
Out of interest, Pyrah, do you ever get horribly confused by all the different status effects, status types, elemental types, what the weaknesses are, and basically damage 2.0 in a nutshell?
Well, seeing as it took me like 4 years to even start learning the Forma system, probably.
Yeah.
It took me until like within the last couple of years now to actually start focusing on maybe getting a better build for my weapons and warframes. So I actually like, I can actually just look at the little status indicator or the crit indicator for like what the status chance of those items are. Like, okay, well, what gives me the most of that? And then kind of go from there. But honestly, after Railjack, there's just like, okay, I kind of wish this was a little bit more unified.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly go and talk to other people and say, someone tell me what to make this do. It is very difficult these days to try and ascertain how it's supposed to be done. Like, there are so many mods in the game. Maybe that's something they should also address. Should mods also see this similar form of like compression or condensing or something like that? Because there are an insane level of mods now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
just for a new player to go out and try gathering them all. I'm like, with the Acolyte mods being available in Deimos now, that's definitely a lot more helpful for newer players. But it's like, even for myself, I'm just like, well, I'll get those someday.
A part of me, go on.
Well, it's just like, yeah. I train of thought just gone.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
A part of me feels that maybe some mods should be the requirement to, construct others. Like the basic, well, was it basic handspring, where originally it only went up to, I want to say 15% for the longest time ever, and then they introduced the combo mod, which it was cheaper and had like much more chance of doing a handspring, the knockdown recovery. You know what
I can't remember that.
Oh no! Sorry, the status effect. Status chance mods. Those were the ones.
Oh yes.
So like one thing you could do is, if you want to get the elemental status chance mod, you have to use the original status chance mod and fuse it in, sort of thing. So that way you're not left with an overabundance of mods. You're actually working with, like, there's so many mods that I've never looked at because I'm like, you just get so overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Very tricky for a game that's always adding things to it. But let's round this off then on this topic. So the topic is status immunity on enemies is not cool. Do we think there should be status immune enemies in the game?
No, I think it should be status resistance.
Pyrah?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same board. Like, I guess with, like, I only briefly glanced at the wiki for like the enemies that were like status immune to viral. In a weird way, that kind of makes thematic sense, but like gameplay wise, that just feels gross, and I understand that for players. So it's just resistance, yes. Blocking, no. I don't really think that should be a thing.
Fine. My point is, I think it's okay, but it should just be saved just for like mini bosses or some form of special event sort of thing.
That's what I was going to say. It shouldn't be on stuff that you see in common. It's like maybe the Jackal or Captain Vor,
something special.
Forward needs some love.
Yeah, definitely.
You send viral to Forward, and Forward just gets bigger.
Oh, that would actually be fun.
Is that a cat? I hear a cat.
Yes, that is a cat. 1 of 3.
Oh, kitty.
I would stroke, but I'd probably crush it with these hands.
No, your arm would probably go backwards.
And then crush it.
I'm just glad that the birds haven't decided to fly in, honestly. Mind you, it's their nap time, so I'm not surprised.
Always pick the best time. Right, so let's move on to topic 2. Topic 2, should the Helminth also be allowed to switch Warframe passives? Right? I think DE should allow us to pull a Warframe's passive as well when we subsume them. For example, if I put Nezha's Firewalker on Nova, you could also choose to replace her passive with Nezha to give her less friction.
Ooh.
Right?
There's some potential here, okay.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm liking the initial thing because I feel passives are nice but not too game breaking, and that would be I would be quite interested in playing around with that because some Warframe's passives are just so meh, but then some are too good to move around almost, I think.
Yeah. So
whose passives are too good? Because I honestly don't pay attention to the passives really.
Oh, I mean Atlas's. Anytime his feet are down, he can't on the ground. He can't be knocked over. So you can just have. Oh well, I think that one would just be used almost unanimously because then you just ignore most knockdowns. Just every Warframe would.
I also can easily see the Valkyr, not the Valkyr. I literally just saw that in the replies. No, the Nezha one with the less friction. I could also see people using that. Potentially the Loki one with the wall hang one, but I can instantly say
Zephyr Love.
Which one's the Zephyr one?
She's floaty.
Oh, right. So but I can happily say that I would swap out Nova's passive in a heartbeat. Like, it's.
But is that just basically showing how bad Nova's passive is, and that maybe that should just be reworked rather than let's add an entire system in to alter and adjust every Warframe's passive. Because Nova's is rubbish. I just don't think it fits thematically with her at all. But like as we were saying, like Zephyr or Atlas is quite fixed to what they're about, their passive. So would it be fair to take that away and give it to every Warframe? Does that diminish them by taking their unique thing?
I think it's more so like because of Helminth coming out in the first place, they actually had to go and look at Warframe's abilities and see which ones needed to be touched up on. So I would think that if they did do this passive Helminth swappability, they would have to do a rework pass over some of the Warframe's passives. So
I think
that could help. Yeah,
it certainly has the potential to highlight which Warframe passives are the least used, the least kept, the least desired.
Yeah.
Right? Because people would swap them out, right? And then again, which Warframe passives are the most OP, like Pyrah's saying, because that's the one everyone's picking. I do feel that there is something to this. I do like the idea of being able to swap out the passives as well, but personally, I would like to have you have to subsume another version of that Warframe. So if you want to get Nezha's Firewalker and Nezha's passive, you have to subsume 2 Nezha.
Yep.
Right? And
would you get to? I'm curious. Would you say that you have to make it that you can pick if you just subsume 1, or do you always get the ability first and you have to do a second for the passive?
No, you get to choose.
I don't think so. I think 2.
You just,
in order.
The passive has to be the second one.
Because the passives, I mean, I know what you focus on Nova's passive, but I'd like to focus on Zephyr's and Atlas's. They're very thematic to the frame. It's even more than abilities, in my opinion, in some ways. So taking away the passive should just be... people want the abilities mainly, and it's kind of a bonus if you want the passive. So I think it should be the ability first, passive second. Yeah?
Okay, I'm not against that. The other side of it is, I also feel that you can't have the same Warframe's ability and passive. So if you choose Nezha's Firewalker, you can't choose his passive. You have to choose someone else's passive.
Now, why is that? What's your reasoning for this?
I feel that, as you too rightly pointed out, the passives are very much designed with that specific Warframe into account.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of the first abilities tend to thematically fall in the same direction as the first, as the passive. For example, Nezha. What's the ability that was chosen for Zephyr?
I think it was the Airgast, the Air Cutter. Let me pull it up. I'm pretty sure it was.
But at the same time, like, there are some Warframes that just have passives that don't really feed into the rest of it. Like Oberon, his passive is the animal companions of every player has a chance to revive. So when they go down. So, but that doesn't thematically interact with Smite or anything else.
True. I would say, I mean, well, Nova's is the worst. I just don't understand what that's got to do with any of her powers. She falls over and farts. I mean, what more can you say?
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
I do like the idea that if you do like you were saying, Xeno, like how if the forums are down. Well then.
Lol.
So much for checking that. But I do like the idea that, like, if you do choose an ability, you can't choose a passive at the same time. That way it actually focuses so that if you do farm the Warframe originally, it's going to work as intended together. And that way it gives a reason to use that warframe rather than just a hodgepodge nightmare of a warframe that you're creating with helmets. So it gives people a reason to continue using that warframe rather than just making a nightmare version.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would certainly, like, for my Oberon, I would be 100% down for Atlas's passive. But I don't know which ability I'd want to swap in. So, but yeah, I'm down for this. Should we go straight into the replies, or do we have any other?
Sure. The case for Nezha is pretty weird, considering his passive is just a free version of a mod you could put on any frame maglev. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's you could stack them. You can stack them on Nezha.
Yeah,
you stack your more frames.
I do think though that some warframes could like speed run. What was one of the biggest problems with Loki was that if you put, I think, maglev on Loki, you could get speeds where you could go into rooms and the room hasn't actually loaded yet.
Oh, that's scary.
I think that was years ago, though. I mean,
yeah, it was years ago. But like, could you just imagine having Nezha's passive plus maglev on a Loki? Better yet, on a Gauss.
Or have a Volt on your team plus Loki, and then doing that whole thing.
Yep.
So the next one is not really interested in this. What I am interested in is a passive rework. Every frame needs to have a useful one. I can get behind that, though. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I still
like,
feel...
I remember when Oberon got reworked because there's not enough feral animals around, so how about let's give him a new one?
I thought his was reworked because it undermined like loads of things like the feral cavats. Like, whenever people were killing the feral cavats, I was really confused. Like, how are you killing these cavats? They're friendly. You're like, they're not friendly. You're playing Oberon. I'm like, oh. I forgot about that.
Yep.
What? I thought they took away that because Disney sued.
No, don't be silly.
If they did give Oberon's old passive back, it means that they would have to add animals to every planet, and I'm so down to clown for that.
Yeah.
Here's an idea, though. How about instead of you consume warframes to gain their passive, how about you have to consume several warframes to gain new passives? Like, there is helmet abilities, so why can't there be just pure helmet passives?
You could do that as well, but I wouldn't want to. I feel that if you were to tie helmet passives to warframes, what do you do when you have new warframes? The upshot.
My point was is that you also I didn't answer. You have to consume multiple frames to get one helmet passive.
Right, but what do you do when you get new warframes?
Well, when we get like 4 new warframes, we can come up with 1 new helmet passive.
I mean, that would be 1 new helmet passive a year. I'm not against that at all. I actually quite like that.
Because instead of it being the thematic ones for the warframe itself, it would be unique ones that would, common pool, let's say, but you had to use multiple warframes. That way they wouldn't have to make as many. I do feel like, as we were saying with the damage types one, there's a worry about just having too many options and things. And how about 1 for every 4 warframes?
I think then part of the problem is people would turn around and say, no, we want the warframe passives, because for every 1 helminth passive, you could actually get 4 warframe passives.
Yeah, but it's just to keep the theme. It's whatever. I mean, people can ask what they want. People could ask if they want that when we consume warframes that we can swap their whatever ability they want, and they're not getting that. They have their particular abilities,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's interesting to say at least.
Okay, we shall move on to the next point. No, everyone would just slap Proteas on and then complain when DE reduce it for other frame. Oh, that's it, yeah.
What's Proteas?
I had this up in anticipation of your needs. After
Okay.
casting 3 abilities, Protea empowers her next ability cast with an additive 100% ability strength bonus. Each ability you cast builds 1 power to charge gauge up to paracord displayed on the HUD. Once fully charged with 3 power bars, it glows. After the bonus applied, the power record empties to repeat the cycle. Right, so
They're not wrong.
every 4th cast is better, basically.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, oh look, 2 smites, 1 Hallowed Ground, 1 renewal. Yeah, everyone gets double the healing and double the armor. Like, oh no.
Right, but we could always make, like they've done already with some of the Warframe abilities, you could make it that, say, instead of every 4th cast, it's every
8th?
6th cast?
I like 8th.
Yeah, I like 6th. I remember if you wanted to use this at a certain time, you'd literally be sitting there after casting 6 abilities and waiting to cast that thing. I think 6 is quite a bit. It's double what it is now, you know.
Well, either that or you could put in
maybe
something
7.
like a Nah, you're right. Like, just increase the number. I don't know. Like, should you, for Proteus 1, should you nerf it? Like, you know, this reply is complaining about, or should you just go, no, you just can't have Proteus because Proteus is broken.
See, they'd have to make it, adjust it for that. I wouldn't say, oh no, this one more frame you can't have. That's just silly. I mean, that just ruins the whole system. You know, oh, we have everything, but that one is too good.
But you can't have Grendel in Conclave.
Huh?
You can't have Grendel in Conclave.
What's Conclave got to do with this?
No. For a similar example, like, okay, maybe it's too weak an example, but you can't have every Warframe in Conclave because you can't have Grendel. Grendel's abilities rely on consuming enemies and things, so Grendel could just dominate Conclave in a second. So he just eats all the players. Yep, I've won! You know, but, you know, or spit them out into the abyss and, you know, just kill them all. Oh, look, I've won. But so similarly, my point is, you know, would players, for fear of them nerfing like passives like that are perfectly fine for Warframes like Protea, like Atlas with his standing on the not being able to be knocked down, or Nezha's Skater Boy, like, would you prefer to say, right, these specific passives cannot be carried over, or would you prefer the nerf? This is not like an antagonizing question, I'm just interested.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer the nerf, honestly. Just so that it keeps the original frames as desirable as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think the nerf is the best thing. It keeps the spirit of it, but not the strength of it, if that makes sense. So that's the most important, if you were to do it that way. But like I say, I prefer my 4 common pool idea anyway. Yeah.
Well,
right,
that would. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
I agree with being able to change some passives, but it should count at your charged ability. Also, some Warframes passives would be OP on others. Gauss's on Hildren, for example.
What's Gauss's?
I never remember. There's just too many now. Too many.
Was Gauss? He explodes.
Oh, it's his whole energy bar. How would that? Oh, Gauss passively gains bonus shield recharge rate and shields recharge delay reduction for every point of battery in his stored gauge. Up to max 100%, 20% recharge rate, and 80% recharge delay when the battery is full. Right, but again, it wouldn't be a 1-for-1 copy. It would be a slightly nerfed adjusted version.
So with Warframe, I assume the answer to this is yes. But with Warframes that have passives that work on, like, you know, this battery bar or what have you, would the other Warframes then have to have the battery with the new resource, or would they just like, oh no, we're going to tie this, you know, so it's consuming your energy supply instead?
No, they'd have to have the bar.
Okay.
Last one. I would want this so I could put Valkyrs on everyone. No more hard landings ever. I know how to avoid it, but it still catches me from time to time. See, that's a much more fair one. I don't see anything wrong with that, and that's exactly what moving the passes around would be for.
What's Valkyr? So what? You never do a heavy landing, a heavy impact.
Valkyr is nimble, able to recover from knockdowns, 50% faster, and is immune to hard landings, landing with no touchdown delay.
Because she's a cat.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know she had that, but
yeah.
To be fair, as I said, I'd be like totally Atlas, you know, can't be knocked down on my Oberon. Cool. Right. Well, that's it for, unless you, any other notes, any other comments? No. Cool. Right. Well, that's it for topics. My God, I thought I actually picked better topics. I suck at this. I'm sorry, both of you.
All right. Are you appreciating how much hard work Tobiah puts into these?
I always appreciated how much hard work Tobiah puts into these.
Maybe you should let him know again.
Tobiah, I appreciate how much hard work you put into these. And also, I suck.
Well done there, Drew.
Right.
I shall wave at you.
Please don't.
No,
I'm scared of what's going to happen. Your head seems to be going sideways now.
I can't find my hands. What's going on?
Or
that's a scary thing to say.
Stop. You can stop now. It's fine. You can.
There they are.
There are my hands. They were in front of me all along.
All along. Hello, hand. There we go. Oh, there we go. A wave. Yes.
I'm too scared. What happens if you try to clap?
Where have they gone?
Okay, moving on. Right, so that's it for the topics. We're now gonna end the horrible rendition of LOZ clapping. So now we're gonna move on to the graphs. Are you ready? I'm not quite sure if LOZ is ready or not.
There we go. That was my attempt at clapping. Yep.
Cool.
I'm ready.
So, our first graph for last week, I need to actually bring it up on the screen in front of me because that screenshot's really small, is how do you feel about the Heart of Deimos a week after release? I thought I'd stipulate the, because it's been out for a week. So,
hey.
7% said neutral, 7% said negative, and 86% said positive. Where are you on this, Pyrah?
Well, like I said earlier, I haven't really been playing Deimos the same way as others. It's mostly been kind of hit and miss with what I'm actually doing with Deimos, but for the most part, it is pretty positive. But I am just mainly being Avara, being invisible, and just like sort of prowling the area for conservation targets or fishing and whatnot. So for the most part, it's pretty good. I love seeing the worms explode each other. So yeah.
Yes, that is good fun. LOZ?
I just want to check. Do you often sometimes find yourself narrating yourself while conservation? You just walk around, just being David Attenborough.
I was going to say Steve Irwin, but yeah, okay.
Oh, Steve. Here in the wild, we see 2 infested creatures. Now, I will capture them. There we go. A perfect capture again from me, the expert hunter. It's like there's no one else there. Just you're talking to yourself. Yeah. But no, I'm sorry. I don't mean to joke, but I'm pretty similar to you. I've just been aimlessly playing just not really focusing on grinding or leveling. Just aimlessly doing stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. I gotta be honest. I'm kind of neutral. I was disappointed by the end of the quest, and
right. But post the quest, I assume you haven't had much time beyond the quest, though.
No. Like even like I like a lot of the characters. I'm sad that like I swear the voice actor for Father was Steve Blum. It was announced earlier in the week, and it's not Steve Blum. The guy does an amazing job of his performance, and made me genuinely think he was Steve Blum. So hats off to the guy that I can't remember the name of. I need to quickly find his name. Sorry, it's too bad of me to just say the guy. So Rogers, come on Twitter, stop being lame. Stop it. There he is. Right, so Cam Rogers. Is this the right Cam Rogers? Did I just click on some other random Cam Rogers? Oh crap!
Maybe.
I might have actually clicked on the wrong. Oh come on, Twitter! Everyone else at home listening to this has already gone away and actually looked up the voice actor's name, and here I am acting like a complete spoon, trying to get this damn thing to work. That's the right Cam Rogers. So the voice actor for Father, who is
David Attar.
Yes. Yep. I knew someone was going to get there before me. Otherwise known as anyone else. So yeah, no, David Attar did an amazing performance for Father, and I was really shocked. I don't like grandmother's character at all. I thought the plot for Grandfather, which has been released by Stella D, I think it's the first video in a while. I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. But I don't know. I just after the quest, I just like, this is still an open world, and cool. That's it.
I do remember before the release, we were talking about like you wanted to learn more about the Infested was one of your main goals from this.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's been achieved?
Not in the slightest.
Wow.
Yep. I tracked it in on my shoe. Cool.
Yep.
Don't you mean brother carried a sick puppy home, basically?
Did he?
Well, he dragged it on
it's
his
what
shoe.
it's sounding like, honestly. But yeah, I do understand how you feel about the whole quest ending kind of suddenly. But then once you're ranking up through the syndicate, you actually do get little cutscenes.
Yeah.
Which I do love, and I hope that they bring that to other syndicates and stuff like that, just so that they can flesh out those syndicates more often. Like, I don't know, like any of the original syndicates, like Perrin or Loka or whoever. Like, I would love something make me care about New Loka, because apparently I really hate them.
Yeah. Like, and even cinematics on the fact that you hate them as well. That would be great. But
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
One of the things that I didn't like about oh god, the one of the other things I didn't like about Deimos is the fact that the grandmother tokens, I feel that they overcomplicate things. It's like, I shouldn't spend any tokens on rep that aren't grandmother tokens, but I don't have son tokens or daughter tokens, and son tokens are so important for, you know, swapping with grandmother, and it's just like, this is just really overcomplicated, the situation. Can we just have one layer of complexity, please? Like, I don't care if the son tokens reward more rep, I just dislike how complicated it is.
Right. I thought they were going to adjust that.
They did, but I don't know how much further it would need to be adjusted, honestly. Because I personally have been doing a lot of conservation, so in comparison to others who have been doing mostly bounties, it hasn't really made too much of a difference for me.
No, it's like, literally the problem for me is it's just the second layer. You know, it's just remove the second layer, just hand over the one set of tokens to grandmother. Like, but the fact that the grandmother tokens sit on top to reward more experience or more syndicate rep, that's the frustrating part to me. It's just this extra layer of complexity.
Yeah, I kind of remember. I didn't watch all of it, but they were Rebecca was talking about how like grandmother's tokens are essentially like the stock market. I'm like, oh great,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Have you done much with the token system, Loz?
No.
So real quick, if you hand over 1,000 reps worth of tokens of anyone else to grandmother, she will give you 1.5 times back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you give her 10 mother tokens, she will give you 1 grandmother token. So 10 mother tokens being 1,000 syndicate rep, hers is 1.5 thousand syndicate rep. Yeah.
Right.
So it's always better to go with grandmother, but grandmother only wants specific tokens at specific times.
I assume it's randomized what token she wants.
Yeah. But it's mostly sun tokens.
You said specific tokens at specific times, so you meant specific tokens at random times.
I apologize. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Random
Because specific tokens at specific times, I mean, you just have to
Wouldn't
get
be
up
too
at 3
bad.
in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be that bad. You know, it'd be annoying, but...
But
you know,
a lot of them also involve suns tokens. But anyway, sorry. That's why I'm on neutral with it. Should we move on to the second?
Yeah, let's go.
graph? Sorry. Dawdling on that one, my bad. Oh god, where's the graphs? So the second graph. How are you finding the Vault mission progress? Right? So we had a bunch of... So this was a multiple choice. Not multiple choice. You could choose multiple things. So 16% said... Wait a second. Why is there an option missing? No, I swear there's an option missing here. Oh, my graph is missing one. Your graph missing it? Yes, for some strange reason your graph is missing it as well. Okay, I'll just have to... Sorry, bear with me. Loz, talk.
What? Well, talk about what? I don't know. We already just had our ranting talk about the open world, the heart of Demos. Oh dear. Well, I'll ask the random question I've been asking Yuzi, so I'll ask it to Pyrah. Pyrah, do you think we will have another update before the end of the year? Like in December?
Oh, yeah. Like
now that's step one. Do you think we will manage a cinematic quest or a small cinematic quest? Because I know they don't have access to the motion capture room that they normally use, but they could make I think they could make a cinematic quest like the old ones. They don't have to be the true cinematic quest, Do you think something of that ilk?
I think something akin to like the apostasy prologue or something like that they could do. I don't think it'd be too time intensive, just to give like basically a little walking sim, and then maybe a little hint of something in the future. But like, yeah, I definitely think there'll be something. I definitely don't think it'll be anything major, but it'll be hinting at something.
Fair enough. Because I'm a bit worried. I mean, oh, here's another question then, because Xeno still seems doing things. Do you think Railjack has had enough support this year? We've had the one patch, which was a balance pass, and lots of nice quality of life stuff in there, but it actually hasn't had any new content since its release, really.
Well, to be honest, I have barely gotten past Earth, so I really haven't had much focus on Railjack per se, and like because they don't have command in it just yet, I would love for that to be enabled. I would play it more often, but because the group that have been playing Railjack with has kind of more or less disbanded to some degree, it's I haven't really touched it. So like I was able to get to like Mark 3 items, thank God, before all that happened, but like so now I can sort of cruise along a little bit and maybe farm up some of the other items, but like yeah. It needs more love. It needs something.
Yeah. So many questions on ask that, but I'll just stick with, if I was betting in December, I would have bet that we would have had the command intrinsics by now. The fact that's still not in is just it just annoys me. It's like that should I thought that was like it was mostly done but coming soon kind of, and we're now what? We're now in September. Where's this year gone? And like we haven't even seen heads nor tails of it.
Yeah, and to to kind of like go back to a little bit just before TennoCon, they released Deadlock Protocol. They did leave lots of hints to the Corpus being involved with
Yeah.
Railjack. So like there's those little drones that they mentioned before, and then you see them. It's all the exterior of the Corpus ships have been updated, and they're now nicely fleshed out and whatnot. Well, not with Infested yet, but they were talking about that too. In I believe TennoCon, on how they were getting ready. Was it TennoCon or I don't know? I don't remember precisely, but I do have concept art on my computer about the Infested being ready, getting ready for Railjack. I'm like, well, let's see how that turns out. But yeah,
I mean, one thing that gets me is, especially for Corpus and the Grineer, is there's all the Arcwing enemies that we fight in Arcwing. Those would easily copy across into Railjack, but they don't use them.
Right. Should we continue forward?
Yeah.
The cat has decreed we have finished communication.
Yep. So
Pretty much.
the second graph, apologies for the delay. How are you finding the Vault mission progress? 15 no, is that 16? 16% said the Necromech needs a rework. 20% said the mobile defense and the resource farming needs a rework. 24% said the vault opening needs a rework. So this is the puzzle part where you shooting the right symbols. Sorry, that's the part I'm referring to. 36% said it's fine overall. 44% said the starting speech and the toxicity chamber needs a rework. But 52%, so the majority of people voting, agreed that the Lloyd escort needs a rework.
So obviously, if the three interesting ones I take from this are the 4 points is the fine overall at 36% is still pretty decent comparatively. But then the three which exceed that, which I think are the three most sticking points on improving this content, is the starting speech, which when we get to comments, people have just shown a way to skip that apparently. The toxicity chamber. No, you get the. I'm off the top of my head, but I will read it later. Okay. You get the host to load their Nightwave window.
Really?
Yep. And then you click off of it, and apparently that just skips it. So then after that though, we've got the toxicity chamber, which is the middle part of the mission.
The thing that I hate the most.
And then the Lloyd escort at the end needs a rework, which is the additional thing at the end, if I'm not mistaken.
So after you defeat the Necromax, you go get Lloyd. Lloyd then interacts with these pylons. It's an escort thing, and then you take him back, and then it's the vault opening part. So it's interesting that the escort part was higher than the sitting around waiting for a door to open.
Well, if it's tricky and he's like taking damage from everywhere and doing stupid things, then,
it might just be a case of that. It's just the escort mentality, and I completely get that.
Always suck.
Right.
I actually didn't mind that, honestly, but mind you, I've only done a few missions for that, so I can't really say much on it.
So, which parts which of these options would you say is what you would tick on? Does that make sense?
Well, I like I've said, I haven't really done a whole lot with Deimos other than conservation stuff, so yeah, I do agree with the Necromechs needing a bit of a rework.
Yep.
But overall, I'm pretty much fine with everything.
Fair enough. Ooh. LOZ on Windows. Cool. All right. So move on to the third one. The third graph is which do you want wall running versus wall hopping? And this is just the visual element. So the functionality would still work the same. Wow. 4% said wall hopping, 28% said that they didn't care, and 69% said wall running. I would have thought it would have been a lot more even.
I'm surprised you didn't put an option for for an option for both.
Then I'm pretty sure everyone would vote for both. I mean, when it comes to one or the other, I'm very like, no, you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
So,
like, and I do kind of remember this discussion from your video from that was like last week, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's mechanically it's still doing the hopping animation, but it would, well, not the hopping
Movement,
animation,
yeah.
but the hopping mechanic, and would do the wall running. I would honestly kind of prefer a bit of both. Like, if like keeping the elements from the hopping mechanic for going over bumpy surfaces, that makes sense. You don't
Yeah.
want to be like wall running and it looks like you're clipping through like 3 different pipes at once.
Yeah.
So like, maybe like a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Why not both?
No, I think that makes that would probably be the easiest thing for them to do, actually, be able to accommodate both. But again, it's still a rework that they would need to dedicate time to doing. I think Loz is not
maybe once
actually
the studios
there.
are open.
I think
Yeah, man. What?
no,
I'm here.
because you're very very still. I think he's I think he's.
You know, I am actually practicing moving additionally, just because if sometimes you don't talk and you just talk like this, and you don't actually need to move, and it looks like it's not doing anything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You need to do like the Halo head bobbing.
Yeah, I tried. I am
talking.
doing that when I'm talking. I sort of bounce my head now a whole lot more, like.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of doing both. But I am surprised that there are only 28% don't care and there's 69% wall running. Obviously, a lot more people care about this than I would have thought. And then the next question, and this has been something that's, I think, fired a lot of passion in me, is: do you feel the plot of Warframe only exists when you're around? 21% said no, and 79% said yes. I'm glad I'm not the only one that looks at it this way.
And
yeah,
and I do agree with this too. But like, I think what Nightwave initially started to address was like some of the stuff that's happening while you're away, which is what the Wolf of Saturn 6 was kind of doing a little bit, until the late part of it was when we got involved with it.
I think Nightwave is, you're right on that. Nightwave is very much a way of, looking at the aftermath with the whole interaction between, the wolf and Allard, or the fact that Nihil, is that his name?
Nihil, yeah.
Yeah, is going around and murderizing people, glassing people. And the fact that Arlo,
glassing, same thing.
Yeah, the fact that Arlo was infecting cult followers with the infestation. I think you've got a really strong point there, that there are elements to Warframe that you're not a pivotal piece of the plot, and without you the plot doesn't happen. But I think a lot of the time with the quest, it has become like, if you're not there, then nothing happens.
Yeah. And Steve was starting to address that. Like, the Steve had actually said that with the current Nightwave with the Wolf and Arlo, the people were like, he was getting responses like, why aren't we more involved? Why aren't we more involved? And so that's what the Glassmaker Nightwave is all about, really, is that it is actually bringing us more involved with it, with the investigation scenes.
Yeah.
So, but I still like that it's still not quite directly attached until the end, which is what we're going to get hopefully in the next one.
Yeah.
With Nihil attacking either us or Nora, or whoever.
I say Nora. It's going to be Nora.
Yeah.
It does make me kind of sad that people want, like, we're the other two Nightwaves, they need to be more focused on us. I do feel people... this is the thing, some people just want to be the center of all attention in these games, whereas I much prefer being sometimes just
the guy
not
on the
too
hill.
much, because guy on the hill. Because to be honest, the worst example of that is how World of Warcraft does it, where you are the champion and you're just there and you don't really have any input on things, but you're just like, champion, do this, champion, do this. The champion of Azeroth will help us while we go have a talk about the interesting things, and then it's time for the champion to do something. You're there, but not there really. And but in comparison to the Tenno one, where you must be the center of attention at all times. Like,
but what about that choice in World of Warcraft for the Horde, where you can either side with Sylvanas or Serafang, and it completely changes how the plot progresses?
Does it?
No, not in the slightest.
Well, no, it did. It did within the expansion. They were like, okay, people. Oh, that's an alarm. We don't want alarms. Stop that. Oh wow, I went off screen. That looked really cool. No, so yeah, but they didn't carry it through. They did, and this is sorry to say, it's kind of it had meaning within the expansion. Now they're saying, oh, we're not going to carry that through to the next expansion. It's like, but I chose to follow Sylvanas, and I will always be loyal. No, you must fight her now. But why? Because she hates you now. But why? It doesn't make any sense. Just because. And I think I remember Steve saying that even though they like the concept, they're just abandoning the whole light and dark wheel thing. They're just not ever going to do anything. I think they're just giving up on it.
I think he said that it was just really complicated. It overly complicated the narrative, and I think it shoehorned people into directions that they didn't want. They want people to always have the choice. Anyway, and then the last card, as always. How do you feel about last week's episode of 10 o'clock? 4% said negative. Do we ever get a comment about what we can improve? No?
I don't think so.
Cool. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on in your head when you're perfectly stationary. I'm not going to lie. You have by far the best poker face right now in existence. Please don't play me at poker. 39% said neutral. Are you done?
Never.
Right. 39% said neutral / don't care, and 61% said positive. Oh my god, there's two of you. Oh my god. Anyway. Right, so that's it for.
And you'll remember that from TennoCon 2019.
I do. So moving on to the next section, which I'm trying to find out. Is it the supporter questions? It is the. Oh, I was supposed to rename that, wasn't I? Yeah, supporter questions.
Oh, you didn't rename it in the actual.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it in the template.
Yes, template.
Yep.
Typing numbers so important. Must have numbers. I missed one, by the way, for topic 2. Right, so let's go back to that window.
What? No, you didn't.
Monitor. Topic 2.
No, it's there.
Topic 3. Oh,
we didn't have a topic 3.
Oh, that's what confused me. Right, anyway.
Yep.
Let look at. You've probably sent them to me.
Yep.
Which you have. There they are. They blended into the background. Okay, are we ready for the supporter questions? So, Dovaro, what should binging with Babish try making that's related to Warframe?
For everyone else's benefit, Binging with Babish is a YouTuber. I strongly recommend people watch him. He is very charming. He actually makes food from video games and or TV series, including the perfect sandwich from Adventure Time. The meat tornado was the last one he made from Parks and Rec. He does.
I am surprisingly well prepared for this question.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so what is your response then?
Okay, well, because I've been kind of fooling around with watching some street food episodes on Netflix and whatnot, and loving Cetus for what it is. So I kind of joked around in some other people's streams with if I were to be in Warframe, my name would be Cephalon Pyrah. So tonight you will be served Kondrak soup seasoned with the finest rook's claw and nistle breast for an appetizer. Following shall be a braised kakina upon jade leaf, stuffed kawaka with grilled maprico and roasted roe nuts. Enjoy.
That's fucking amazing.
That's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Me, I was just thinking a meat wall burger, but
Meat burger.
Meat wall burger.
Meat wall burger.
I did considered that, but I'm like, no, let's actually use the actual food items that are
Yeah.
already on display besides the wall meat.
Yeah. Wall meat burger.
Or
Yes.
meat.
Wall meat burger. Cool. Loz, do you have a response to this?
Whoa! I can't. I was gonna flail. I can't. I think my hands are gone right now. I'm just gonna put those off for now. They're not working. Right. No. I don't know.
Wall meat burger. Got it. Right. Moving on.
No. Wait. What was the thing from that introduced the excavation quest? There was a fish.
There was a
Fish.
fish.
There was a fish. There was a meal specified by some sort of. It was for Neff, not Neff.
There's a fish involved before Plains of Eidolon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a lore thing. That's why we were doing the excavation to get the Karate, because that was used to freeze some fish for some meal for Void
What
Trader.
mission is it
Brain.
called?
No,
Void Trader. Barrow.
Barrow. Yes, it was the introduction of Barrow before we met Barrow. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was that's when they released the excavation quests. It was the operation for excavation quest. That was the lore behind it.
Right.
Make that fish meal.
Make that fish meal.
Make that fish meal, man.
Okay, next question.
I'll go find it. Right. Oh no, I have to read things. I can't find that now. Right. I'll have to read questions. Devaro also gives some random symbols.
Okay. What are the random symbols?
With as many writing systems, the Orokin tongue presumed to be spoken by all in the Orokin system, with Grinean Corpus dialects, Tenno script, the Intrati glyph symbols connected to the Requiem mods, and also whatever the hell those Orokin ciphers we never saw again from the sacrifice. Which of them would you rather write in, or what alphabetical system would you implement into the game? Also, somehow our Latin alphabet is in the game, seen in the Chains of Arrow quest. Unboggle that, linguists.
Personally, I think I'd rather write in the Corpus dialect, because I think I constantly screw up the Tenno script, and it's so long and needlessly. Yeah, I feel that Grineer, I would need a. You know how the nib of a highlighter pen is like long and flat. Like I feel that all the pens would devolve into that shape in order to actually write in Grineer. I don't have the patience to do all the calligraphy for the Intrati symbols for like Vom and all that stuff. So I think the Corpus script is probably be the easiest for me to write with. At least it has straight lines.
I would love the Tenno Orokin
Tenno script.
You know, yeah, Tenno script. But what's your thing about also somehow our Latin alphabet is in the game, seen in the Chains of Harrow quest? Unboggle that, linguists.
We also... Yeah, no, we do, don't we? Get it out.
Well, I don't know. I think that was just probably a gameplay thing that they wanted to have, like, scary writing on the wall. Ooh, scary. Woo! And it'd be like, if there was, like... if it came up in Grineer, you'd be like...
What does that say?
What's that say? Oh, I'm coming. Even if it said, I'm coming to get you, Tenno. Ooh, Scoom. You'd be like, okay, there's some just red symbols on the wall.
I see squares.
See squares.
What is Pyrah thinking?
Well, I just found out what the creature was, so...
Ah, you looked it up for Loz.
What was it?
A Martian oasis jellyfish.
Ah.
Where's an oasis on Mars?
Martian open world confirmed.
Oh my god, don't.
But in terms of like the Latin whatever being on the walls and whatnot, why not have old world languages still be relevant? Like, I mean, today we still use Latin as a means of like categorizing new animals and whatnot, so like why not still have it carry forward into the
True, but how often do you see Latin on the wall?
Yeah, well, no, not only that, it's that Rel has decided to scare you by writing on the wall in some ancient language that only he seems to speak. Oh, even scarier. Oh. No? It's like if I tried to scare Xeno by sneaking into his house and painting on the walls in French.
I mean, I think he'd to be freaking out by the fact that somebody actually went into his house, drew on his wall, then be like, "Why is it in fucking French?" Can I swear on this? Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
We're British. It's every other word for us. But the I mean, like, if I saw French written on the wall, I'd just be like, omelette du fromage. Omelette du fromage. Now I'm hungry. Where's my cheese omelette?
I had spiced eggs for breakfast. It was lovely.
Oh, damn
Anyways.
it. Next
The
question.
one thing I really sad about this is I can't really chuckle. I can't really bounce.
Well, as long as we
Like,
hear you.
Well, I can't. But I want him to chuckle. I want him to bounce up and down.
It doesn't
can't
register the
bounce.
shoulders as something to move.
Hey,
No,
look,
very
you can
sad.
either be the best poker player in the world or you can have a face. I mean, you pick one.
Fair. Right. I have. This is my face. I mean, this is my beautiful face. It is amazing and mine forever now. Right. Back to this. So let's Zephyr dive bomb fish. With Demos introducing the Carnis enemies that creates an enemy that literally runs up walls and across the ceiling, what other forms of movement would you like to see implemented in the game, and what factions would you give that movement to?
I'd love to see sort of like corpus mines or mine layers or something that sort of like scurry along the walls and they're just dropping mines on the floor. I would like.
So you mean like a bomb chew?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say yes.
Zelda reference.
Zelda,
Okay.
the mouse thing that runs and then explodes. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So.
Excellent gaming reference. We love our gaming references on the show, and that's a very good one.
Yeah. I. You know, like, why not have something wall climby for everything apart from the sentience?
No, I just don't.
Weaponized domestic drones.
Oh no!
Yes.
You pushed his buttons now.
What?
Triggered.
I
He's
mean,
gonna explode.
now I have more of a reason to blow them up. It's fine.
You just see this wave of like domestic drones just all on the ground coming towards you. Like, okay, I can
Yeah,
jump
and
over
then
that.
all of
Boom.
a sudden, loads of Tenno are then Lisetless. You know, I'm fine with this.
I still want more of that infested drone on my ship. I can only get it through the pack currently.
Oh no, Infestor. Right. The previous 10 o'clock memes got a good chuckle out of me, especially the cat in the Venetian blind. Sorry. Do you agree that if it weren't for blinds, it would be curtains for all of
Oh,
us?
fuck.
Oh, God.
Alien.
Trugal again asks, "What's your favorite kaiju?" Didn't you answer?
Right. So I put effort into this. I did so. Pyrah is gonna show me up now.
No.
She went and.
Oh.
I think she's coming back.
I'm back.
So we have some. I swear there are 2 Godzillas.
Not just 2.
The 2.5. Wait, so the one in the middle is Zilla, isn't it? Because it's the.
Oh yeah.
It's the.
Yeah.
Wait, is it plush?
Yep.
No. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yep. It's
I
partially plush.
Yeah, I think the head's plastic.
wow.
But the... Wow, that's actually pretty damn impressive. But the yeah, so apparently Pyrah is all about Godzilla, but so I actually
Oh no, his tail fell off.
Oh no!
but I put a lot of effort into researching this. So for me, depending on the definition of kaiju, it's either Guyver Gigantic Exceed or Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Of those are kaiju.
Huh? Clifford the Big Red Dog is a kaiju.
This is where
It's a
someone can
giant,
find some-
abnormally sized monster. It's a giant red dog, Loz.
And
It
it can
counts.
be bigger than a house.
Huh?
And I believe Clifford is bigger than a house. in
Yeah,
some
there you go,
books.
Loz. Clifford the Big Red Dog. Also, Guyver Gigantic Exceed is also red, but that's besides the point.
This is me despairing. Me despairing.
It counts.
Just despairing.
Counts.
Hey, which Godzillas are those, by the way?
Honestly, this one's definitely Zilla.
Yeah, this, yeah.
This one, this was an attempt by my parents to find a proper Godzilla, but they just got the Japanese one, so it's just like, and it's like a knockoff one, I think.
Okay.
So, and then actual.
Oh yes.
Yeah, this guy I don't know which movie he's from, but he's cool. Actually, no, it's got the Japanese one face, so no idea which movie he's from, but he's cool. Continue.
What was it from? Last point from Zoogle. What software are you using to get the Excalibur model on your webcam? That is Luppet, because FaceRig is a pile of rubbish. I don't know why FaceRig decides to be awful, but it is. Also, the software would work better if the model is what's the limitation. I've already shown to these two. It's supposed to be designed for like, I am an anime girl, look at me, and it works flawlessly. It's just this model. I need to learn how to re-rig or something. So yeah, but still, yeah, it's Luppet, Luppet. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That is it for those. Let's move on. What's next?
I think it's the community responses from last week. If you want, I'll take down the time while you do that.
1:26:07. And then I will go to this page. Right. Okay. Joshua Minute says, "Oh my gosh, Loz, your face. Thank you. This is my face. I have it back. It is beautiful. I would stroke it, but I can't because of the thing."
Do it.
Yep. I took the thing off. I'd have to.
No, fine. Keep going.
Okay, fine. Yokai1235. Enemies Necromech Void Shield Iron Skin deflects half of the damage taken back, so 92% of the time you died by it. Is that true?
Only if you're close enough.
Okay, fair enough. Negachrome and JJ24. Here we are. Here's the thing I was saying earlier. Tip for skipping the opening dialogue for isolation vaults. Once you load in and they start talking, pause and open up Nightwave. Close it and return to game. We'll skip the dialogue and start the mission. I think it has to be the host that does it, not the client.
Okay.
If you're a multiplayer. Trax Paddock said, "Have you ever had BNP as a guest?" Now,
Better name pending.
I thought he was asking for the British National Party. And I was like, we're not having them on.
No,
crazy.
I did try to get Better Name Pending on a while ago, but he wasn't interested. I could try again.
Yeah, why not?
Well, he might not want
love his content. It's really good. Legion Rapier 61. I've really enjoyed the open worlds, but they've always felt dead, a lot like the plot. It only seems like anything is happening when you are around. And as soon as you head back to your orbiter, everything just pauses. I think DE could probably add more neutral NPCs to the world to liven things up, to better populate zones like they did with Grenier workers and some of their tile sets. Give us a feeling that life and work in Cetus and Fortuna is more robust than waiting for Tenno. An example, while exploring the plains, you might run across a group of Cetus out fishing. The group is neutral to you, but hostile to Grenier, so there's a chance that depending on where patrols spawn, you might have to save the fishing groups from attack. There's no scripted encounter or mission, just a possibility of things aligning. Similar to how Bethesda has their random encounters in Fallout or Elder Scrolls. And I like that what they've done there is they've come up with a thing. It's not a scripted encounter. It's not overly overthought that you have to defend them and then there's some reward over it. It's just put some NPCs in that will fight each other on the map to make it feel like things are going on and it's not all revolving about you.
Yeah. I think it was always great in like earlier iterations of Warframe when you would encounter random missions where the Grenier are fighting in the Corpus or the Infested turn up or whatever. Now, obviously, the cross something, I can't remember what they're called, but the basically the invasion missions where you can see both sides exist. I mean, that element has just disappeared from the regular missions entirely, I think.
Next, quickly, is just from Faber. I think a decent way of making the toxicity chamber a bit more fun and difficult would be adding a couple new mechanics. I wanted to see in Warframe for a while now. My main idea would be a chamber that is divided into 3 sections. Each section gives you a debuff. For example, no shield, higher ability energy cost, energy drain, constant health drain. And in addition, each area also generates another debuff that accumulates over a period of time, around 15 to 20 seconds. But if reaching maximum would usually put you in a bleed out state. So the tactic would be to swap between areas enough to not get accumulating debuff to max. It's a mechanic you see in things like World of Warcraft, where you have to swap debuffs and things. What do you think? Too complex?
I'm fine with that sort of thing, but I wouldn't want it to be the only thing. Like, it needs to swap things out.
Because I know you don't really like that section, do you? The toxicity chamber bit.
Mm.
What's your feeling on it, Pyrah? Have you done the bit when you get trapped?
As I've said before, like I've not really touched on that whole thing, so I can't really say much on it. I do kind of like the idea of the debuffs, but like maybe as you go into the higher tier vaults, maybe it's more rooms that you have to go through to cycle through it. But I don't have much input on it, sadly.
I would just like it that if you go into that toxicity chamber, it's one of different things. Like, this one is the default one that we currently have. This one is you got to protect a dude. This one is the thing that this person's suggesting. Is just give me different choices, keep me on my toes, right?
Yeah.
Don't just standing around doing that.
Yeah. Or like have like a room where like there's barbs on the ground and it's slowing you down.
Yeah.
Like it's pulling at you to slow you around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, just quickly, JJ24. Warframe has kind of lost its living world. The Tenno were once observers and mediators, but now are the driving force for basically all events. Story feels a lot the same. Get a distress call. The bad person is almost ready to do a bad thing. We stop to that thing. Bad guy, you meddling kids, and we get thanked. Part of the problem seems to be that the Tenno are always the winners. We are never notified of something happening in parallel to our actions. What is everyone else up to? For so many people in the Origin system, it's awfully quiet, sorry.
I think a lot of this stems from the cinematic quests. Like, the thing is, the cinematic quests, it's all right for those to be about us, right? They are tailored to be about us, so on and so forth. So it's fine. I mean, it was a little upsetting with the sacrifice, what with it not actually being a sacrifice. But the rest of the environment and things is just like, I'm here now, we can begin the story.
I have arrived.
Cool. Is that it?
Yeah, that is it for the community responses from last week.
Cool.
And hang on, that's not a link.
That's not a link?
I'm trying to fix it for you. There you go. Cool. Right, so now we're done. You.
Oh, okay. Cool. Right. So do you want to send them to Pyrah as well?
I now can. So we are moving on to the next section, everyone, which is the memes. I need to put them in this room. Boop.
Do you want me to take the time?
Yes, please.
Which is?
It is 13255.
Cool.
Right. So, can you see those, Pyrah?
Yep.
Oh no! Wait, whoops, up out there. I'm gonna wrong program. I'm gonna turn so I can look up at the memes.
What are you even?
Am I the right way around? Yes. Now I can look at the memes. Look at me. Look at the memes. Memes. Right. Are we ready, everyone?
Yes.
Memes. Right. Okay. Yeah. What? You have a problem with this, Xeno? I'm sideways now.
Oh, just hurry up!
Fine. First meme, everyone. Remember when Heck wasn't a meme? Whoa there, soldier. You hit your head pretty bad over there. What? I was Terraframe on Earth and I was screaming about air. You're a defective clone. Now you're a defective clone. Now fall back in line. That's what Heck used to look like when he was actually a thing.
And not a potato.
And not a potato. Yeah. Right, meme number 2. That one got a lot of upvotes for some reason. Oh, it all comes together. Tenno, it's time you learn about mastery and the importance of no, Tenno! Feeding all your resources to Helmet and making new players think the system is pay to win. And you got Scala Prime for some reason leaning on, what did you believe was going to happen? So yeah.
I assume this is because they massively dropped the rank of the Helminth. So it used to, when they were doing the dev workshops and things, it was going to be MR 15 required.
Yeah.
But they dropped it down to 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I can see new players though thinking, right, I need to buy all these extra warframes to stick it in this thing to unlock all these extra abilities.
Yeah, so there's a lot of controversy behind it because so many players. I was seeing so many mixed reactions to the helmet thing. One of which was like the resource requirements are absolutely insane. And unfortunately, I'm not that rank within the with the Intrati to be able to play with it, to actually gauge for myself. I've asked Joey about it, and he says like it's fine. You know, it's not the end of the world, but it's designed for veterans. But they made it available to, people too soon.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And I haven't reached it yet either, but like I'm still like, why drop it that low? Why drop it below 10?
Yeah. Should be 20.
Weird.
See why, yeah. Right, so now back to some more funny memes. Spooky when you go to the dentist. So true.
I mean, I did get knocked out the one time, so.
Wait, what?
Meme number.
Wisdom teeth removal.
I was awake for mine.
Oh.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the blood.
Fair enough. Right, moving on. Before I creep out.
Number 4.
Yep.
Are you sure about that? Sortie. Secondary only. Excalibur mains. Yep.
Is that because he can use Exalted Blade?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. Just checking. Awesome. Just checking.
Fine. That's fine.
You don't have to shove your Excalibur main face in my face.
Right, I have no idea right now because I'm looking at the memes. I can't see how well that's been picked up. But okay, now moving on. Number 5.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure how this one might be a bit. I don't think it'll fit on screen very well. Or is it? Is it okay?
I think it's
looks okay.
Whoa.
Okay, so it's supposed to be Batman versus Iron Man. You got Venom versus Fast, and they're fighting and just dropping what was supposed to be money, now resources, and then you got the player at the bottom there stealing all the resources as they fight. And
oh my God, so Spider-Man.
Oh, it's Spider-Man. I didn't notice that.
Yep.
Well, basically at least in the early stages of the comics, Spider-Man was constantly poor.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Got you. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And then just for Xeno, we have the 6th meme.
What's this? Oh my God.
Just called Goat.
Oh my God.
That is now Xeno. I will never unsee this. Everyone.
It really looks like I'm looking at the Oberon specifically right now, and it makes me really wish that there was an Oberon Prime statue.
Is there not?
There's no.
What you
mean a
mean?
real
Like the actual statues that you could have behind.
No, I prefer a regular Oberon.
Yeah.
Pyrah, are you going for the Lotus statue?
I mean, yes, and I got so many more items from that day, so yeah.
Fair. Right. So that's it for the memes.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go into the community shoutouts. So.
Oh, I don't need to link these again, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Yep.
Okay, I'm clicking things.
Do you want me to write the time in?
Yeah, that'd be good.
What's the time?
It is 1:38:38.
Cool.
Yo.
Right. Cool. So here we go. The first community shout out is Mirage in Her Natural Habitat by Chicken Draws Dogs.
The reference to
Ooh.
God. That's really good, that is.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. The second community shout out is Ember Prime by Dasta Creations.
Reposted because it deletes the original post for error. Cry. It's time for a chicken. It's time for Ember Prime. My part of art trade for Heart of Bastet. I hope you like. Oh wow.
Very cute.
Yep. The third community shout out is Tribute to Awakening. That's not the. Why did that not change? Change.
It's finally done, lol. Here's a tribute to the Awakening. I was quite scared of how flora and layering went up. Instead, I'm rather pleased. Hope you guys enjoy it. Zoom zoom.
Hold on, I might have accidentally
Oh.
linked the wrong image.
What are we looking at right now? Yeah, we haven't.
That one. Sorry.
Yeah.
I actually have a poster that's in a very similar style, so this speaks to me on another level.
I feel it's very like art noir kind of thing.
I wouldn't say noir. But it's
Sorry, was it Art Nouveau? I can't remember.
It's a, like I don't know what the specific style is called, but it's a mix of pointillism and something else.
Look at
More-
Xeno
more
trying to
than I
be
know.
all artsy now. Try and improve the dig. I just think it looks pretty.
Actual artist here.
There you go.
Whoa.
More talent in her little finger than my entire body. So there we go.
Yep. Reminds
Right.
me of Samurai Jack.
Yeah,
Moving
I
on.
can see that.
Right. The fourth community shout out is Space Dad by Question. Yeah, Question.
Ooh, I like this.
Ooh.
I gotta say,
Love the
like,
detail.
whenever you see the Umbra with the exposed eye, like, it always reminds me of that one part in Sacrifice, and it always like gives me shivers down my spine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I like how they carried the scar across the face and towards his eye as well.
Cool. The fifth community shout out is Peculiar Growth by Pascal.
Well,
I love this.
that is awesome.
For those of you who might remember this, there was a very similar styled I am 8-bit thing that came out like I think 2017. There was a whole bunch of Warframe prints that you could get at the TennoCon merch line and whatnot.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me very much of what those bulky versions look like. So it
Right.
makes me very happy. All the bulky frames together.
Right. And then our sixth community shout out is Little Worm Queen. Little Worm Queen. Shh, by Red Panda.
Ah.
I love the way how they did the Kuva here.
Yeah. I honestly
Yeah.
I love the face, the eyes, the expression, everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yep. And then our last community shout out is Cyberframe 2077 by Plicket Plicket.
Ooh. Oh, and there's two versions of this. So if you want to click on the link in the description below, where we give links to everything we've got, there's I like which one have you done? You done the red one? Yeah. The red one's nice, but I like the second one with the faded grey aesthetic on the main characters, the contrast to the background of yellow. It's
I
really
actually really like the teal. I used the teal on the Bolt, which is why I went for this one. Right. So that is it for the community shout-outs. And now I'm going to let Pyrah know, while Loz writes down the time. How far have you gotten into any of the past 10 o'clocks? Have you ever gotten to the full end?
I believe so.
So this is the part of the show where Loz will give us a quote from a movie which was Tenno-fied, and we have to guess what the original movie is. Yep.
There we go. Right,
As he flies around the screen.
Woo! Okay, I'm surprised that I haven't used this one serious. If I have done this one, then fair enough, but I couldn't see it being used. There we go. Ospreys, Isolator Bursa, Antimos, a whole slew of them. I was this close to starting my own little enterprise, man. But enter another robotics engineer. Not so young, not so bright, but very, very sneaky. Nathaniel. So one night, our boy Allard, he goes to his terminal, tries to read up his file. I get nothing on there. It's a big blank. Okay, Now we take you 3 months later. Neff presents the Corpus board with 5 proxies that he's invented. The slime didn't even change the names, man. He gets a big fat promotion and thus begins the meteoric rise to, what is he now? Executive VP?
Oh, bloody hell. Have I seen this? Do you know if I've seen this?
Yeah, most people have seen this when they were a kid. It's
Oh,
an old
kid.
film.
Oh, okay. It definitely sounds familiar to me, but I'm not pulling anything.
Oh my god, this is doing my head. Is it modern day?
1982. It was modern day for 1982, but then has sci-fi elements or a sci-fi-esque story.
So a guy steals some designs.
Yep.
Wait! Is this Tron?
This is Tron!
Oh! Oh my god! Yes.
Wow.
I thought that I should have taken out the mans. I thought the mans would give it away. the slime didn't even change the names, man. Like, it's the dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
I have seen that movie, just
Long
not
time
anytime
ago.
recently.
Yeah. I don't know why. I was going through it in my head, and the idea that someone had stolen something, like some prototype and things like that, and I just see that one clip of the original movie where Jeff Bridges' character starts to get digitized.
Yes.
Yeah. That is what really like stood out in my head, and I'm like, wait, is this Tron? Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what he's trying to do. He's actually trying to access the computer to get the proof that he built those video games, what it was, instead of proxies that the guy presented to the board that made loads of money. They got him promoted. Then the computer just stops him by sending him into the computer. Yeah. Great film. I was going to attempt to say, if you couldn't get it, I'd be like, it's the quintessential original video game movie, and everyone would be like, oh, Tron. This is where someone's going to correct me with like some ancient, like,
yeah, I totally wouldn't have said that anyway, but yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, well, okay, fair enough. Right, but that's it for the end of this episode.
Right, yeah, okay, cool. So with the dab button,
Woo.
Yeah, it's out. It's the end button. It goes, woo, we're the end.
Thank you for being on, Pyrah.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
Lovely having you on. I'll promise if we have you back on, I'll do my damnedest not to do the topics myself and get someone competent like Tobiah.